Okay, so basically the way that I did this in class on Tuesday was not incorrect, just incorrect for this particular software. I took a storyline approach when I should have been taking a Captivate approach, obviously. So to rectify that, I'm going to do this real clean and quick screencast, talk about what we did and how we're going to do it. So if you remember in class, I had three separate variables. I had the 1, I had the 2, and I had the 3. We talked about when you click on 1 that the state is going to change first and foremost, but also you're going to be updating that variable because our goal was to make this next button not appear until we've visited all of these sections, right? And we did that by first making sure that our next button was hidden in the output. So if I went ahead and previewed this right now, what you'll see is that there is no next button. And our goal, of course, is to click on 1, on 2, on 3, and then to have that appear. Now, of course, we could do this in a very linear way, whereas 1 is the only button you see, and then 2 would appear, and then 3, which would make this very simple. But that's not what we do. That's not what things are supposed to be like. We are going to make learner-centered design. So they could click on any one of these. Just because they're named 1, 2, 3 doesn't mean that it's supposed to be in that order. It's just a template. So, well, I'm not going to do advanced action. I mentioned that you should always try to consider using conditionals in an advanced action sense over your basics. And that's what we're going to do. So if you remember, what I want to do is update a variable and change the state. But something else is happening here because I can't do these separately, right? I can't have 3 separate variables because then I'd be telling Captivate to do this and this and this. So did it work when we did it originally? Yes, absolutely. But what I want to do is show you a way that is super universal that literally you could put in any content in here, any buttons, use this advanced action, and you're going to be okay. So I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to get rid of these. And instead, I'm going to create a new variable, right? So I go all the way up to project. I don't know if it's recording that, but it's called project and then variables. I open up the variable window. And then you always want there to be a user, right? So when I say add new, it should be user. And I'm going to create a variable called next but, right? And I'm not going to put, well, I just lied to you, sorry. I do actually want to put a 0 in there. And I want to put a 0 in there because what I'm forcing Captivate to understand is that it's going to be counting. There's going to be numbers to be expected. And that's just a real quick way to say, hey, numbers are coming, deal with it. So now I'm going to hit save. Then you see my next but is there, and then my old 1, 2, 3, which we're not using anymore. So for good practice, like we always do, we want to make sure that we put the variable that we are going to be measuring in question on the stage. So I'm going to say $, next underscore but, $. And then because I put that 0 in there, I should be able to preview this, and then we're going to see a 0 on screen. So preview, next 5 slides. There you go, 0. Right? So I'm going to hit close, and we're going to figure this out. So now what we're going to do is what's referred to constantly in something, if you can master, you're going to be a brilliant Captivator, is a counter variable. And it just, I don't know if it sounds intimidating or not, but all you're doing is counting. So when I click on 1, I want this to go up to 1. When I click on this, I want it to go up to 2, and then so on and so forth. So the idea is nothing more than counting the clicks so that we can determine whether or not this next button should show, right? So here we go. On 1, I'm going to go to action. I'm going to go to execute advanced action. Then I'm going to make a new one. This is where, I'm going to go like this. This is where we change up at top. The action type is no longer standard. It's going to be the conditional action. I'm just going to call it 1 clicked. Simple enough, right? So all of this stuff should happen when 1 is clicked. But the first thing we have to determine is this idea of a counter variable, right? So our code is going to say, click 1, go up 1. Click 2, go up another 1. Click 3, go up another 1. But as we ran into class, we realized that we can't go all the way to 3 because what we're doing is saying update to 3 and then nothing happens because this button can't check if it's 3 and also update to 3. You understand? So what we have to say is if the variable of next but is greater than or equal to literal, because we're counting, 2, I want to show the next button. Did I not label it? Oh, I did. Next button. Right? So that makes sense. I mean, conditional statements with if and else, really easy to kind of wrap your head on. If the next but variable is greater than or equal to 2, show the next button. Perfect. But we still need stuff to happen, right? So we still need things to occur, and that's where we're going to say, go ahead. So here we're on 1. I still want to have to make this change of state. I still want, which we call that content, to 1. But I also need to update that variable. So I also need to say, I run an expression. It's called an expression. And what this expression is going to say, take the next but variable. And what do I want to happen? I want it to add 1. So again, I'm going to say next but plus literal 1. So even though this might not be true, I still need stuff to happen. So that's where I'm putting the change of state of and the expression. But also, I'm going to copy this. So you see right here it says copy. I'm going to take both of those and I'm going to copy. I still need these things to happen. Even if I'm updating to the number that I want, I still need these things to happen. So in my else, even though this isn't true, all of this stuff is only going to happen if that is true. If it's not true, meaning else, I still need to show the change of state of content to be 1, and I still need the expression to add 1. Okay? So I'm going to say save as action. Hit OK, and then close. So this right here is now called execute event in action 1 clicked. And I'm going to preview it just to see that this should go up to 1 and this should change the state. So here we go. It's at 0. I click on this. It went up to 1. My state changed. I still don't have my next button because I need that to be greater than or equal to 2, right? Okay. So I'm going to say close. Now I need to do the same thing to number 2. I'm going to say execute advanced action. And now when I click on it, I have everything that I need technically. Everything that I know I need is right here. So instead of starting from scratch, what I can do is in this top right corner here, you see those 2 little squares? If I click on that, it's going to duplicate this completely. And you can tell because it says right here, duplicate of 1 clicked. I'm simply going to change that to 2 clicked. I don't know where that 1 came from. To 2 clicked. And now I'm going to come down here and change what I need to. I still need this to be true. But what I don't need to be true is content to 1. I need to say that content to 2. I still need this expression to read that, so we're okay there. So the only thing that I need to do over here again is change the 2. And update action, hit OK, and close. Now I have to do it one more time. This is on number 3 here. So again, go to execute advanced action. Open it up. Everything that I need is here. So I'm just going to duplicate it. Now I'm going to change it. Instead of 1 clicked, it's going to be 3 clicked. I'm going to get rid of that number 2. And again, this remains the same. It's still the condition that we're looking for, that it needs to be greater than or equal to 2. I still want to show the next if that is true. And I still need to change the states of stuff. So this is going to be 3. This still remains the same because I'm simply adding 1. And then, of course, this, if they decide to click this first or second, then so be it, I still need to do it. Okay, so update action, okay, and then close. So here you have it. I got to make sure my buttons. So 1 says 1 clicked, 2 should say 2 clicked, and then 3 should say 3 clicked. So when I go to preview this, you can see I'm at 0. I click on this, goes up 1, click on this, goes up 2, click on this, goes to 3, and my next button appeared. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, and you're welcome.